Starting each day with Jeremiah 29, embracing hope, purpose, and God's divine plan there, is a verse that has pulled more people out of the pit of despair than almost any other verse in the Bible. You know it. Maybe you've seen it on a coffee mug or a graduation card. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. But I want to tell you something this morning. Most people know that verse. Very few people know that story. And if you don't know the story, you will misuse the verse every single time. So let's set the scene. Jeremiah is writing to a people who have lost everything. Jerusalem has fallen. The temple is rubble. The nation is gone, and God's own people are now captives in Babylon, a pagan land under a pagan king surrounded by pagan gods, wondering if the Lord has abandoned them for good. This is not a group of people having a bad week. This is a people in exile, and exile was supposed to last 70 years. Now here's what's remarkable. In the middle of that devastation, God doesn't send a message of instant rescue. He sends a letter through Jeremiah, and the letter says, "Build houses and live in them. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. Get married. Have children. Seek the peace and prosperity of the very city that's holding you captive, and pray for it. Because when it prospers, you will prosper." Did you catch that? Before God ever gets to plans to prosper you, he tells them to put down roots in a place they didn't choose and didn't want. That is not the message people want to hear when they're in exile. They want out. God says, settle in, because I'm not done, but I'm not done yet either. That's the first thing I want you to carry into today. Wherever you are right now, in a job you didn't choose, a diagnosis you didn't ask for, a season of waiting you didn't sign up for, God is not absent from that place. He is present in your exile. Don't waste your waiting season doing nothing but longing for the next season. Build, plant, invest right where you are, because God works in the middle of delay, not just at the end of it. Now here's the second thing this passage teaches us, and it's about hope. Real hope, biblical hope, is not wishful thinking. It's not crossing your fingers and hoping something good happens to fall out of the sky. God tells his people the exile will last 70 years. 70 years! That's most of a lifetime. And yet in the middle of announcing 70 years of hardship, he says, I know the plans I have for you. That means hope in Scripture is not the absence of hardship. Hope is the confidence that hardship is not the final word. You can be in the middle of your 70 years and still hold on to hope. Because hope isn't based on your circumstances changing today. Hope is based on the character of the one who holds tomorrow. Some of you are waiting for your circumstances to shift before you'll let yourself hope again. Flip that around. Let your hope shift your posture inside the circumstances. Hope isn't a feeling you wait to have. Hope is a decision you make while you wait. Third thing, and this is where purpose comes in. Notice God didn't just tell his people to survive Babylon. He told them to seek the welfare of Babylon. Pray for it. Work for its good. That is a purpose statement in the middle of a pain statement. God was saying, even here, especially here, you have a reason for being. Your presence in this hard place is not pointless. It has a purpose attached to it. That changes how you show up to your job tomorrow. That changes how you show up to that difficult marriage, that health struggle, that financial pressure. You are not just there to endure it. You are there to be salt and light in it. Purpose doesn't wait for your circumstances to get comfortable. Purpose shows up in exile and asks, God, what do you want to do through me? Right here, right now, in the middle of what I didn't choose. Now let's talk about how you actually start your day with this. Because knowing the story is one thing. Living it out before your feet hit the floor every morning is another. First, when you wake up, remind yourself where God's plans actually start. They don't start with your comfort, they start with your character. Verse 11 says plans to prosper and not to harm, to give hope and a future. But that promise is sandwiched between verses about building, planting, praying, and seeking. God's plan for your future almost always runs through your present faithfulness. You want to know the future God has for you? Look at what he's asking you to do today. That's usually the first chapter of the plan. Second, start your day praying for the very Babylon you're in. Maybe your Babylon is a toxic workplace. Maybe it's a family situation you can't control. Maybe it's a city, a health condition, a financial mess. Whatever it is, pray for its welfare before you complain about its weight. That single shift from complaining to interceding will change your whole outlook before 9 o'clock in the morning. Third, remind yourself daily that delay is not denial. 70 years felt like forever to those exiles. But God had already numbered every one of those years, and he had already set a date for their return. Your waiting has a number on it too, even if you can't see it. God is not improvising with your life. He's not scrambling to figure out what to do with you. He already knows the plan. Your job is to trust the planner while you're still in the process. And fourth, when doubt creeps in, and it will, especially early in the morning when your mind is still waking up and the worries rush in first. Go back to verse 12 and 13, right after the famous verse 11. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. That's not a formula for finding God's plan through a vision or a feeling. It's a promise that he will be found through relationship, through prayer, through seeking him first. Before you seek the answer, that's the real key to Jeremiah 29. It was never meant to be a verse you slap onto a mug and quote when things are going well. It was written to people in ruins, told to plant gardens they might not live to harvest, promised a future they wouldn't fully see for 70 years, and called in the middle of all of it to seek God with everything they had. So here's how you start today, and every day after this one. Wake up and acknowledge that you might be in a season you didn't choose. That's all right. Build something anyway. Plant something anyway. Pray for the place you're in, even if you didn't want to be there. Hold on to hope, not because your circumstances have changed, but because the one who holds your circumstances hasn't changed. And seek him first with your whole heart before you seek anything else the day has to offer. Because the plans God has for you were never separate from your walk with him. They were always found inside it, not around the hard season, through it. So don't just quote Jeremiah 29:11 today. Live Jeremiah 29:11, 12, and 13. Build where you are. Pray for where you are. Seek him with all your heart, right where you are, and watch what God does with the years you thought were wasted.